Josh Eldridge back to welcome you back to Wasilla, Alaska on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com. Our continuing coverage of the Todd Ryan Memorial Tournament here in Wasilla. The Klamath Falls Falcons, who are 1-0 in the tournament, get ready to take on the host team, the Wasilla Road Warriors. And that game is set to begin here in just a couple of minutes. As, again, Falcons are 1-0 in the tournament. The Road Warriors are 1-1. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll get ready for baseball on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
To reclaim your health and your autonomy. At Heartfelt OBGYN, they focus on you. Their evidence-based approach to care means fewer office visits and a targeted treatment plan to directly address your specific needs. They believe in solutions for their patients, not the industry's profit margin. The providers at Heartfelt OBGYN are committed to serving the community and giving back to the basin. Find them at heartfeltobgyn.com. Heartfelt, because you deserve to be in control of your body and your informed choices.
At Eisler Group, they are confident that their tax and accounting professionals are experienced and trained like no one else. From individual, corporate, partnership, estate, trust, Eisler Group stands ready to help you with all of your financial, tax, and accounting needs. They have been in Klamath Falls for nearly 60 years, raising their families here and being part of the community. The Eisler Group can be found at EislerKF.com. That's ISLERKF.com. EislerKF.com.
Josh Eldridge back with you on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com as we get ready for battle between the host team, Wasilla Road Warriors, and the Klamath Falls Falcons. Leading off for the Klamath Falls Falcons will be Max Price. Starting in center field, Connor Shively bats second at shortstop. The catcher, Jacoby Tacchini, is hitting third. And Colin Tacchini, the second baseman, bats cleanup. P.J. Safford at third base, bats fifth, followed by Carson Pimley in left field, hitting sixth. Corbin Hamilton, the pitcher, bats seventh, followed by Ian Meyer, the third baseman, hitting eighth. And Carson Sims is in right field. He bats ninth for the Falcons as Max Price gets ready to go up against Jacob Johnson, the left-hander for Wasilla. We'll take a look at the numbers on him as we continue on, but a rainy day here in Wasilla. It's been off and on. But right now it is most certainly on as a pitch called a strike to Max Price. Right now it says 58 degrees, rain expected to continue for at least the next hour. But not coming down enough for us to worry about calling a game as that one is going to miss upstairs. The count is 1-1. Max Price in the first game of the day for the Falcons, where it was a 12-1 victory against Palmer. Price finished the game after going 3 for 3 and had an RBI and a couple of runs scored. Here he sends one in the air to the right side, and it is a foul ball. The count is 1-2. Going to be tough for me to see a little bit down the right side today, kind of backed off the side with this tent situation here in Wasilla. Luckily, all the equipment has stayed dry, but, well, it's the best we can do sometimes. Price settles back in for the 1-2 pitch. As we're just getting started today, want to again thank our sponsors this trip to Alaska, Heartfelt OBGYN in Klamath Falls and the Eisler Group in Klamath Falls. They have stepped up in a big way to help us get to Alaska this week, so be sure to support them because they support us. As Price takes a pitch, just misses outside. Count is 2 balls and a strike to Price. Connor Shively waits on deck for the Falcons. Lefty for Wasilla comes set. The Wasilla Road Warriors in their navy blue tops today. The Klamath Falls Falcons in their red tops. Ground ball right back up the middle. The second baseman, Guzman, fields it in the gap. The throw on to first is not going to beat Price. And he is on with an infield single to start the ball game. As Falcons have their first hit, Price is a leadoff hit. And now the last 4 consecutive road games for the Falcons. This will bring up Connor Shively, who unfortunately saw his lengthy hitting streak end in the last game, although his on-base streak is still alive as he walked in the 6th inning. He's reached base every single game for the Falcons this summer. So we'll have Jacob Johnson get ready to come together, come set. First pitch misses high to Connor Shively, and the count is 0-1. After Shively, it'll be Jacoby Tacchini. Like I said, Shively didn't come up with a hit in the earlier game. He was 0 for 3, grounded out twice, hit a hard line drive right to the shortstop as well. And we got a conversation between Coach Ott from Wasilla, the home base umpire. Not quite sure what the conversation would be about here. Are they saying, did he swing the bat and hit the catcher's glove? Gotcha. So it was a pickoff move trying to get to first. They're wondering if Shively was in the batter's box or not. And so they're wondering if Shively was out of the box. The consensus is no. No one saw him out of the box as the throw was being made. So Shively's able to stay up in this at-bat. Count is 1-0 to Connor. And the pitch from Johnson. Here it comes. Lefty kicks and fires. It's a strike into Shively, about letter high over the middle of the plate to Connor, and the count is even. With that runner on first being Max Price, Jacoby Tacchini is coming up next. Set is Johnson, and the delivery, that one is in the dirt, but a nice job by the catcher for Wasilla. That's Berta to keep it in front of him. We'll introduce you to the defense as soon as we finalize the scorebook here. But Berta is catching his second game for Wasilla this tournament. This will be their third game, potentially final, unless they're able to edge the Falcons here and send the Falcons to a 1-1 record. Right now, Wasilla is 1-1 themselves after losing the opener to Palmer last night and defeating Madisonville, Kentucky earlier today 6-1. As that pitch misses upstairs away to Shively, the count is 2-1. Shively, the left-handed bat, awaits the offering from the left-handed pitcher. It'll miss upstairs on the 3-1, and Shively is awarded first, moving Max Price over to second. 2 on, nobody out for Jacoby Tacchini. Opener for Tacchini, he was hitless until the 6th inning when he came up with a 2 RBI single and helped the Falcons get into mercy rule territory in that inning. And they won that game via the mercy rule 12-1 after 6 innings. They've scored the most runs in a single game so far this tournament in that 12-run output. First pitch to Tacchini, missed low in around his shoelaces, so he's ahead in the count. Johnson comes set. Ready to deliver the pitch to Tacchini. It's fouled straight back, and the count is even now at a ball and a strike. So Tacchini with Colin Tacchini to follow for the Falcons. Johnson looks in, gets the sign from Berta, and comes set. Decent lead off of second for Price, and here's the pitch home. It is going to miss high, but it pops out of the glove of Berta. Both runners will advance on the passed ball. 2 men now in scoring position for Jacoby Tacchini. All right, back on the mound is the pitcher Johnson. And it'll be a 2-1 count to Jacoby Tacchini. Here's the pitch. That one misses in the dirt off the mask of the catcher, popped straight up in the air, and that's going to allow Max Price to come in and score. Connor Shively advances to third, but the Falcons get their first run of the ball game across on the wild pitch. And again, that was ball 3 to Tacchini, so it'll be a 3-1 count. Shively gets all the way over to third, like I mentioned. All right, the left-hander back on the rubber, trying to pitch to Jacoby Dakini. Johnson set on the mound. And here's the pitch. Misses high. Dakini will take a walk, and we'll likely see Chase Barrett come in and run for him unless the Falcons have decided to use someone else. But that looks to be Chase Barrett coming on out of the dugout there. And it'll bring up Colin Dakini with runners at the corners and nobody out. Dakini in the opener today had an RBI on a sacrifice fly in the first inning, but other than 2 more walks throughout the game, was hitless through the ball game. He also flew out once in the contest, really 0 for 1 for Colin in that first game. And we've got timeout called as the catcher for Wasilla. Berta wants to make sure everyone's on the same page. We can go around the diamond now for Wasilla. At third base, it's Sivlich. Vini is at short with Guzman at second and Hudson at first. In the outfield from left to right, it's Wheeler, Russell, and it is going to be Palomares in right field. Delivery on its way from the pitcher Johnson. It's taken in the dirt, and the count is 1-0. Barrett staying put at first on that pitch in the dirt. P.J. Safford is on deck for the Klamath Falls Falcons. And Johnson back on the hill, ready to throw to Colin Dakini. Again, the count 1-0 to the Falcons' second baseman. Here comes the pitch. It's going to be in the zone against Colin. Thought it might be inside, but that fastball finding the inside corner about letter high. And the count is even now to Colin. 1 run home in the inning already for the Falcons. Max Price led off with a single. Advanced all the way around on pass balls and wild pitches. Let's move over to first. I was going to check on Chase Barrett over there, but nothing going on. Shively will remain at third in the meantime. About 8 o'clock here local time in Alaska. Still light as day. It'll be that way for a few more hours, so no worries about finishing this game, even though we started quite a bit later than anyone had anticipated as that pitch misses high, 2-1, trying to backdoor Barrett at first, but he's back safely. Between games 2 and 3 today, there's about an hour, 15-minute rain delay, which pushed the start of that game back, which, of course, in turn pushed the start of this game back an extra about 45 minutes from its scheduled start time. More like a full hour, really. But we are still here and ready to get these games in as the pitch to Dakini is popped to the right side. It is foul. And the count is 2-2. Colin Dakini, then P.J. Safford, and then Ian Meyer. Colin Dakini with a big 7 RBI performance earlier in the season against South Medford. Looking to add another RBI to his second spot on the team there, but instead he will take strike 3 on the inside corner, goes down looking for the first out in the first inning. It'll bring up P.J. Safford now with 1 away and runners at the corners. Safford in the opener was 1 for 2. He singled in the first, had a sacrifice bunt laid down in the third. He grounded out in the fifth before he was hit by a pitch in the fifth, a game in which, again, the Falcons won 12-1. Their first game in Alaska in over 20 years, or their first game here in Wasilla in over 20 years, and they picked up a win. Pitch on the way, misses upstairs. On the move is Barrett. They're going to get him caught in a rundown, but in the meantime, Shively scores. They're running Barrett all the way back to first. Now he turns and goes to second. They tag him out, but a run does score. Klamath Falls Falcons lead 2-0, but now there's 2 outs, and the bases are empty for P.J. Safford. It'll be Carson Pimley who waits on deck for the Falcons. Now the lefty can really just attack PJ, though, with the bases empty. And the delivery on the way is lifted in the air, right side, and it'll go out of play. Count 0-1 to Safford. So there's a pickoff move to try to get Barrett at first. And that's when they sent Shively. Barrett sort of left early on the steal. Is the intent of getting in the pickle to score that run. And it worked to perfection. The Falcons will trade an out for a run often on the base paths. That pitch misses well out of the zone. The count is even at a ball and a strike. Again, if you look overhead at center field, you can see a little bit of blue. It's just barely creeping over the trees. It's coming from the northwest. The storm coming from the west, so it looks pretty far away, though. Hope that we get to see some of that before we leave town tonight or before the game is concluded. Pitch on the way is going to miss low and in, 2-1. The count to Safford. Oh, that was called a strike. 2-2. Now looking in again, the lefty is going to take that one off the inside. 3-2, the count to P.J. Safford. Johnson trying to keep things right where they are, not let the Falcons begin another rally here in the first inning. Johnson comes set. Still working out of the stretch, even though there's no runners on. The pitch to Safford is a ground ball out toward short. Up with it is Vini. The throw on to first is going to be in time, and that will end the inning. But the Falcons take a 2-0 lead going to the bottom half of the first on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
Getting set for the bottom of the first inning on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com. Our coverage of the Todd Ryan Memorial Tournament in Wasilla, Alaska continues, and it will continue with Corbin Hamilton getting the start on the mound for the Falcons against the Wasilla Road Warriors. Taking a look at the numbers for Corbin Hamilton on the season. He's making his second start of the summer, his fifth overall appearance. 9 2/3 innings pitched. He's 3-0 on the season with 9 hits and no earned runs. His 16 strikeouts are tied for second most on the team and has a 0 ERA. He'll be going up against a Road Warriors lineup that goes like this. Leading off is number 18, Gabe Wheeler. Batting second is the second baseman, Ramon Guzman. Number 17, it's Chase Sivlich. Bats third. He's at third base. Hitting fourth is the shortstop. That would be Jaron Vini. Number 5, the first baseman, is Waylon Halverson. He's batting fifth. The pitcher, Jacob Johnson, bats sixth. Batting seventh is Bridger Berta. The catcher, batting eighth, is the right fielder. That's Lalo Palomares. And batting ninth is their center fielder. That's number 9, Cade Russell. As Road Warriors leadoff man gets ready to step in, it's Gabe Wheeler. The first pitch on the way from Hamilton is called a strike. Hamilton gets ahead 0-1. Wheeler Awaits the offering from Hamilton. That pitch bounces in the dirt, 1-1. Taking a look at the day for Wheeler so far in the opener for Wasilla in the win against Madisonville. Wheeler was 1 for 4 with a single in the first inning. That was all he was able to get for the whole game. Otherwise, he flew out twice and grounded out once. On the season, though, Wheeler batting .364 for the Wasilla Road Warriors. The delivery on the way from Hamilton. The 1-1 is grounded over towards second. Takini charging. That ball dies with the wet Greenfield grass, but Takini able to make the throw onto first in time for the out. And this will bring up number 4, Ramon Guzman. For the Wasilla Road Warriors, Ramon Guzman is picked up the loss in the only game he pitched in this tournament, despite a really solid complete game effort in the loss against Palmer on the first night of this tournament. But at the plate earlier today, Guzman was 2 for 3 with an RBI single in the first, and he added a double in the 6th inning. Pitch from Hamilton in the zone. The count is 0-1 to Guzman with 1 away in the inning. Hamilton gets the sign in from Takini. We'll introduce you to the rest of the defensive starters for Klamath Falls after this, as that pitch is rolled foul. Jacoby Takini is catching P.J. Safford at third. Connor Shively at short. Colin Takini at second with Ian Meyer at first. Carson Pimley is in left. Max Price is in center. And Carson Sims is in right for the Klamath Falls Falcons. Guzman ready to settle back in. Guzman, a .333 hitter on the summer for Wasilla. The pitch from Hamilton skips to the plate, and the count is 1-2. On deck is the third baseman, Chase Sivlich. That pitch misses outside, and a 2-2 count to Guzman. Settling in is Guzman. The pitch from Hamilton is a slider, and it got Guzman to chase. It was in the dirt, but the throw down to first will be there. And that's 2 outs in the first inning. As Guzman goes down on strikes, bringing up Chase Sivlich. Sivlich so far today is 1 for 4. He flew out in the first inning of the opener today against Madisonville. And he also singled in the second, flew out later in the 4th and 6th innings. Sivlich started that game as the catcher and is starting this game as the third baseman. Here's the pitch. Hamilton goes slider on the first pitch and gets ahead 0-1 as that found the outside corner. And Takini doing a nice job of framing that one up. Hamilton comes back with the 0-1 pitch. It is taken outside, and the count is even at a ball and a strike. Hamilton likes to work away from the righties, which makes it all the more devastating when he comes inside with those pitches. Goes outside slider again. The count is 2-1 to Sivlich. Sivlich batting .375 this season for Wasilla. Here's the pitch on the way. That is swung on and missed. 2-2 as Hamilton gets ahead of the third baseman for Wasilla. Hamilton looks into Takini, gives the target. There's that fastball that misses low and away, and the count is full, 3-2. Again, on deck is Jaron Vini, the shortstop for Wasilla. If the inning continues, Hamilton will go outside with the slider, and the inning will continue as a 2-out walk is delivered to Chase Sivlich, bringing up Jaron Vini. Hamilton looking into Vini, who, to my understanding, did not play in the opener today for Wasilla. Yeah, did not have an at-bat. However, in the opener yesterday, in the game against Palmer, I believe picked up a base hit in the loss against the Pioneers. Pitch misses outside. Runner aboard at first is Sivelich after the 2-out walk. And the count is 0-1. Hamilton now having to work out of the stretch with that runner on first. They'll check on him over there, but Sivelich is back safely. Hamilton set again with the 0-1. And here's the pitch. It's a firm fastball, just misses outside, and the count is even. Falcons dugout less than satisfied with that pitch on the outside. Oh, pardon me. I believe the count 2-1 now. Must have missed the first pitch. As Hamilton battles in. Here's the pitch. Fouled off, and now a 2-strike count against the shortstop for the Road Warriors. Wasilla 1-1 in the tournament. Be curious how they wind up seeding things tomorrow for the championship game. The Falcons will have one game before the championship game, and that will be against Madisonville of Kentucky. Hamilton just misses outside. That'll be ball 3. A really good take by Vini. It was outside. We've got time and a meeting. Well, let's see. Coach Connor coming out of the dugout for the Klamath Falls Falcons. He's going to come out and have a chat with Corbin Hamilton and the catcher Jacoby Tacchini. Gives us an opportunity to once again highlight some of the sponsors that make this trip to Alaska possible. Klamath Falls Heartfelt OBGYN, and of course the Eisler Group in Klamath Falls. Those two sponsors, without them, I wouldn't be able to be here right now broadcasting to all of you watching back home in the Klamath Basin or other places in the state of Oregon. Heck, even for the few fans from Wasilla or the Wasilla fans who found their way to our live stream, want to welcome you in all the same and highlight some of the folks in Wasilla who make today's broadcast possible too. And that'd be the head coaches, along with Van Williams from the Alliance in Alaska, for allowing us to come on out here and broadcast every game of the tournament here for now what is the 4th and final game of today, with 2 more coming up tomorrow. Of course, like I said, Klamath Falls will play Madisonville, the opener tomorrow, and then a championship game to decide the champion of the Todd Ryan Memorial Tournament. Klamath Falls hoping to be the second Oregon team in tournament history to become champions, as it was Eugene who won 2 seasons ago in 2023. Hamilton awaiting. Coach Connor takes the long walk back to the first base dugout. The count is full, 3-2 to Jaron Vini. Long break in the action, I think maybe to reset things for the Falcons. Pitch is on the way from Hamilton. It's a firm fastball, strike 3 called, and that will end the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 runner left for the Road Warriors in the first. The Falcons lead 2-0 as we go to the second on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Got a substitution in for the Palmer Road Warriors as we get set for the top of the second inning. It'll be coming into play right field, I believe. Oh, no, 38 is coming into pitch. And Looks like they are going to get rid of the designated hitter is what's going on. So 38 into the game is going to be Camden Meady. And Johnson, I believe, went out to the outfield. We'll make sure that here in just a moment as Camden Meady comes in to pitch. Johnson goes out to right. Those are the only changes in for Wasilla here in this half inning. So we'll take a look at Camden Meady on the season as Carson Pimley gets ready to lead things off for the Klamath Falls Falcons. Meady this season on the mound, making his third overall appearance, his second in relief. 4 innings pitched so far this summer. He's 1-0 and has given up 2 hits, no runs in those innings of work for Wasilla. Meady gets ready to get going out there. It looks like Wasilla just kind of went with the opener to start the game against the Falcons, and we'll see how long they let Meady go against this team from the Klamath base. And that pitch misses inside, and the count is 1-0 to Carson Pimley. First time we'll be seeing him here in this tournament. Take a look at the stats on the season for Pimley, and we'll do that here in just a moment after Meady comes set with the 1-0 pitch. Here it comes. It is popped into the air, left side, in foul territory, out of play. The count is 0-1. Pimley on the season batting .235 for the Klamath Falls Falcons. He's 4 for his first 17. 3 of those have been singles, and he has 1 home run, tied for the team lead in that metric. Pimley, then Hamilton, then Meyer do up this half for the Klamath Falls Falcons. Here's the pitch from Meady. It is a line drive into left field, base hit. Pimley squares it up. It's going to roll nearly all the way to the wall. Pimley digging for 2. The throw-in is not in time, and a leadoff double for Carson Pimley as the Falcons in business in the second. First extra base hit of this game for the Falcons comes in the top of the second inning. And it will bring up Corbin Hamilton, as I stated, the starting pitcher, looking to help out his own cause a little bit here in the top of the second. Hamilton in the opener today was 2 for 3 with a couple of RBI each on singles in the third and sixth innings. And it's going to be Berta who goes out and has a chat with Meady, at least just for a moment. The rain, it seems to have stopped momentarily here in Wasilla, but it is liable to return, as we've seen today, now forecasted up through 9 o'clock. First, it wasn't forecasted at all today. Let me just get that out of the way. I'm looking at my weather app last week thinking it's going to rain all week long in Wasilla. As we get ready for the first pitch to Corbin Hamilton, takes it upstairs, and that one got away from the catcher, Berta. Had trouble getting around to it. It is real slick back there behind home plate as he slipped around trying to get to it, but the count is 1-0. But I'm thinking to myself, oh, it's going to rain all week long. And I get here, and I check my weather app, and it says no rain. I thought that's curious. I just saw it said rain all week. I get to the ball field today even. That was yesterday where it said no rain. I get to the ball field today. It said no rain at 11 a.m. No rain for the whole day. And we have dealt with rain for the last 4 hours on and off here in Wasilla. I'm not quite sure what to make of that. I don't know if the weather app was pulling tricks on me or if what was going on, but it has been raining, on and off for at least 4 hours, probably close to 5 hours now here in Wasilla. Count is 2-0 to Corbin Hamilton. Line drive left field. That'll get down, maybe extra bases again. They're waving in Pimley. He is going to get in safely. And an RBI single for Corbin Hamilton makes it 3-0 Falcons in the top of the second inning. Hamilton with his third RBI this game. Or not this game, pardon me, this day, as 2 came in the opener today. Like I said, Hamilton's having himself a nice day. He's hoping to keep it working on the mound. But right now, I believe he is out there running in first. I didn't see a courtesy runner come in for him. I'll double-check that. But it will bring up Ian Meyer to the plate, who was great in the opener today. Meyer with a 2 RBI single in the third inning helped the Falcons in a big, big way. So, yeah, Hamilton is still running over there at first. No, it's Ryan Glidden, pardon me. Glidden over at first as Meyer rips one foul down the line. The count is 0-1. After Ian Meyer, it's Carson Sims in the order for the Falcons. And getting ready to come set is Camden Meady. Pitch on the way is a curveball. Must have been a hit and run. Meyer about fishes that one out of the dirt. The throw on to first is in time. And that'll be the first out in the inning. Had to have been a hit and run with Hamilton on the move. Meyer swinged at a pitch that practically bounced to him, but made contact with it. Wound up 5-3, but the runner does advance into scoring position. Glidden out there for Carson Sims. Sims in the opener today was 1 for 3. He singled and scored in the 6th inning. Sims has gone and really improved himself since even the prep season. He was a all-league honorable mention in the Skyline Conference. I don't know if anyone would have predicted him batting .538 through the first 14 games of the summer. Here's a fly ball right side caught in foul territory. And there are now 2 outs in the inning. And it will bring up Max Price with with Glidden out there at second. Price is 1 for 1 in the ball game, led off the game with a single and would come in to score in the first inning. So he will get ready to settle in. Max Price this season, batting .353 for the Falcons. Only one batting glove goes on his bottom hand as he keeps his knees bent. A pretty tall stance, though. His back is straight in the right-handed batter's box. The delivery to Price is taken for a strike. That looked to be a two-seamer from Meady. Had quite a bit of lateral movement coming back towards the right-handed hitting Price as Meady gets ahead 0-1. Meady looks in, gets the sign from Berta, gives him the target. And here's the pitch. That one misses high and in, nearly got Price. It would have if it was a fastball, but it had a little bit of break on the curveball and wound up just missing inside. Count is now 2-1 to Price. Connor Shively is on deck for the Falcons. Second baseman Guzman trying to keep the runner out there at second. Honest, it's Glidden. And here's the pitch. It is popped up out of play, foul. The count 2-2. Top of the second inning, the Klamath Falls Falcons lead Wasilla 3-0 in the final game of the day, the Todd Ryan Memorial Tournament. Started the day with a game as Palmer lost to Madisonville 10-8. Madisonville then came back and beat Wasilla 6-1. We saw the Falcons defeat Palmer earlier today 12-1, and then well, here we are in game number 4. Another pitch misses inside, and the count is 3-2 to Max Price with a shortstop, left-handed hitting Shively, like I said, waiting in the wings, hoping for a chance in the top of this second inning. Set is Meady. Checks the runner at second and delivers home. Another fly ball to the right side. Could drop in fair territory and does. And a base hit. They're waving in Glidden. He will score. Sliding in safely to second is Max Price. They'll go ahead and trade places out there. The Falcons lead 4-0 on the RBI double there from Max Price. Connor Shively to bat now for the Klamath Falls Falcons. Shively without an official at-bat in this contest. He is walked, though, in the first inning, came in to score there, extending his on-base streak. He's reached base in every single one of the 14 games this year for the Klamath Falls Falcons. That's a streak I just would love to see how far he can get it. It's starting to be very impressive now, up to 14 games. Well, 15 games, including this one we got here today. Price has an aggressive lead off of second. The pitch home to Shively will miss outside. The count is 1-0. After the tournament in Wasilla concludes, which is tomorrow, the Klamath Falls Falcons have the early game, the first game of the Alaska 529 Midseason Classic. They'll play at 11:45 local time here in Alaska, and that will be against South Anchorage. So they'll play that game at 11:45, which is 12:45 in the Klamath Basin. So be sure to have that one tuned in on Thursday morning, or I guess early Thursday afternoon. Pitch to Shively is hit hard, deep to right center field, going back near the wall and making the catch is the center fielder Russell. And that will end the inning. But the Falcons do score 2 runs on 3 base hits, and they leave 1 runner stranded, a 4-0 lead to the bottom of the second on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Pacific Power works day in and day out to power our communities because we know our neighbors rely on us. We're trimming and clearing branches around poles and lines, protecting our system, and giving you real-time updates when storms roll in. You can count on us in all seasons. 24/7, we're here for you. Powering your greatness.
Getting set for the bottom of the second inning. It'll be Waylon Halverson, Jacob Johnson, and Bridger Berta do up this half inning for the Road Warriors as they find themselves down 4-0 in the second inning against the Klamath Falls Falcons. Corbin Hamilton getting ready for the second inning of his start today. As Halverson gets ready to step in. Halverson earlier today was without a hit. He was hit twice, though, himself. Came around to score a run in that contest, also reached on an error. So still looking for his first base hit of the day here at the Todd Ryan Memorial Tournament. First pitch from Hamilton's a 2-seam fastball found the zone, and the count is 0-1. Hamilton goes with the hard stuff to get ahead of the right-handed hitting Waylon Halverson. Time goes with a slider outside and misses. The count is even now at a ball and a strike to Halverson. Taking a look at the numbers on the season for him, he is batting .360, and Hamilton finds the zone on that last pitch to get ahead. Count now a ball and 2 strikes. Hamilton delivers. Swung on and missed. Goes with the outside fastball and sets down Halverson. Hamilton picking up his 3rd strikeout of the day. And that will move on to Jacob Johnson. He was the starting pitcher for the Wasilla Road Warriors, but has since moved on out over to right field. Only pitched the opening inning, in which Klamath Falls scored 2 of their 4 runs. Pitch on the way from Hamilton is fouled off, and the count is 0-1. Hamilton looks like he might be going breaking ball here on the 0-1. Instead, it's a fastball fired right back up the middle, past the glove of Takini into center field. And the first base hit of the day, or of this game rather, for Wasilla. Comes with 1 out in the second inning. And they have a runner aboard at first for Bridger Berta. He is the starting catcher for Wasilla today as they look to climb back into this ball game, trailing the Klamath Falls Falcons 4-0. Corbin Hamilton comes set with the first offering to Berta. The corner's in, protecting bunt. Here's the pitch. It is rolled weakly to third. Safford up with it. Throw on to second for 1. Takini trying to turn 2. And they do. A 5-4-3 double play gets the Falcons out of the second. To the third we go, and a 4-0 advantage for the Falcons on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
We drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
Falcons leading off the top of the third inning with Jacoby Tacchini, Colin Tacchini, and P.J. Safford as they lead 4-0 in the top of the third inning against the Wasilla Road Warriors. So middle of the Falcons order against Camden Media, his second inning in relief for the Road Warriors. Klamath Falls Falcons with their one win earlier in the tournament, 1-0 in the Todd Ryan Memorial Tournament. Wasilla Road Warriors are 1-1. Like I said, the Falcons are looking to become only the second team ever to win the Todd Ryan Memorial Tournament that hails from the state of Oregon. Eugene won it last year against Lower Columbia 11-0. Before Eugene made the final in 2023, it had been since the year 2000 since a team from Oregon made the championship game when Gresham did it in 2000. They lost that game 5-3. So now the Falcons, again, can't start to count those eggs before they hatch, so to speak. They still have a long road ahead of them to the championship game. And it starts with adding some insurance here in the top of the third inning, leading off their catcher, Jacoby Tacchini. Pitch on the way to Jacoby, ripped foul down the third base side. The count is 0-1. Look, there's some chain link in front of the fence there for the Wasilla dugout. Otherwise, that would have gone right into their dugout, a screaming foul ball. Expecting Tacchini to pull now after seeing what he did to that last pitch. A shade of the outfielder in left field towards the foul pole. The center fielder is playing well to the left of second base. And the right fielder playing in the right center field gap. You can expect Tacchini to pull, but he can certainly go the opposite way if he wants to. Here he sends a high, deep fly ball into foul territory left field. It goes foul. The count is 0-2. And Coach Ken shifting his guys even further to the right. They're basically playing Guzman on top of the second base bag now as they are playing basically into a shift against Jacoby Tacchini. A huge gap on the right side of the infield, though, if Tacchini can find a way to just poke it the opposite direction. Here's the offering. It misses outside. The count is 1-2. But Tacchini's no stranger to having to just wait on a pitch and poke it the opposite way. He's done it quite a bit this year when teams overplay the pull against him. And he's a smart player. He sees what they're doing. But in a two-strike count, can't really be too picky with where you place the ball. Just want to try to get it out there and play. Here's the 1-2 offering. That one will miss low and away. 2-2. Now they're pitching Tacchini against the shift a little bit here. Once they've moved everyone over to the left, they've thrown outside to the right-handed hitter now back-to-back pitches, and they've missed both times. Maybe trying to get Tacchini to chase. Maybe trying to set him up for some inside heat. We'll see as Meady is back on the rubber and comes set with the 2-2. Target set. Here's the pitch. Inside changeup had Tacchini out in front, and that will be the first out in the third inning. First strikeout of the day for Camden Meady out there on the hill for Wasilla. It'll bring up Colin Takini, who's the only other Falcon to strike out at all today, although he went down to the pitcher Johnson, who started the game for Wasilla. Going to change out the baseballs again, even though the rain has stopped, at least for the moment. Again, knock on wood, although I don't have any wood to knock on, whatever this table is made out of. I think plastic. Knock on something that the rain has stopped, at least in the meantime, here in Wasilla. Still gray clouds hang overhead as the first pitch is coming up to Colin Takini. That is a check swing and a pop out over towards second. And Takini will pop out for the second out in the inning. This will bring up P.J. Safford, the right-handed bat for the Klamath Falls Falcons, who's 0 for 1 in the contest. 2 away in the inning. And Meady looks in to get the sign from Berta. Safford trying to dig himself out a spot in the right-handed batter's box. Again, it's pretty much a muddy mess around home plate right now. Safford, first pitch swinging, high fly ball, right center field. The right fielder moves over Johnson. He will make the catch to end the inning. The Falcons down in order in the third, but they've got a 4-0 lead going to the bottom half of the third inning. Coming up next on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
To reclaim your health and your autonomy. At Heartfelt OBGYN, they focus on you. Their evidence-based approach to care means fewer office visits and a targeted treatment plan to directly address your specific needs. They believe in solutions for their patients, not the industry's profit margin. The providers at Heartfelt OBGYN are committed to serving the community and giving back to the basin. Find them at heartfeltobgyn.com. Heartfelt, because you deserve to be in control of your body and your informed choices.
At Eisler Group, they are confident that their tax and accounting professionals are experienced and trained like no one else. From individual, corporate, partnership, estate, trust, Eisler Group stands ready to help you with all of your financial, tax, and accounting needs. They have been in Klamath Falls for nearly 60 years, raising their families here and being part of the community. The Eisler Group can be found at eislerkf.com. That's ISLERKF.com. eislerkf.com.
And we're back with you in the bottom of the third inning on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com. So it's a 4-0 ball game. The Klamath Falls Falcons lead the Wasilla Road Warriors in the bottom of the third. Due up this half, it is Camden Meady, Cade Russell, and Gabe Wheeler. I want to give a shout-out to Van Williams with the Alaska Sports Report and the Alliance here in Alaska for allowing us to carry every single game of the Todd Ryan Memorial Tournament. I've been here since yesterday, all day long today, and none of it would be without Van Williams, making sure I had everything I needed to get ready for today's broadcast. I want to give a shout-out to him and his sponsors that we've been highlighting today on MyBasin.com. But again, it's just been a great day of baseball, and without folks like Alaska Airlines and Alaska 529 and the Alliance and Alaska Sports Report, would only be able to cover the Falcons games this tournament, and wanted to be able to share the love a little bit and cover everybody. As the 0-1 pitch is grounded out to Colin Takini. He will throw on to Meyer at first for the out. 4-3 in the book. Gets Camden Meady, and it will bring up Cade Russell. Russell in the opener today for the Road Warriors was 2 for 3, had singles in each the first and third innings. That was the game in which Wasilla defeated Madisonville 6-1. Klamath Falls will meet Madisonville tomorrow afternoon before the title game. Pitch to Russell, one hopper out towards Shively at short. Took a wicked hop, but Shively adjusted nicely. Throws on to first in time for the out. Nice play there by Connor. Could have very easily gotten the best of him. Had some pretty wicked backspin on it. Kicked up, and Shively, who was ready to field a low-bouncing ground ball, had to field one that was up above his glove hand shoulder. And still recovered, made the play, throw on to first in time for the out. 2 quick outs at the bottom of the third inning brings us back to the top of the Wasilla order for Gabe Wheeler. Pitch on the way from Hamilton is swung on. Lazy fly ball, shallow right field. Sims coming in, dives and makes the catch. Carson Sims lays out and steals a base hit from Gabe Wheeler to end the third inning. We'll go to the top of the fourth next, and the Falcons lead 4-0 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been away forever. Wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face. I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
Ready for the top of the fourth inning as the Klamath Falls Falcons lead the Wasilla Road Warriors 4-0. For the Falcons so far in the ballgame, 4 runs on 4 hits, no errors. For Wasilla, they have scored no runs. They've got 1 base hit, and they have committed no errors. Leading off this half inning for the Klamath Falls Falcons will be Colin Takini. He'll be followed this is Carson Pimley, followed by Corbin Hamilton and Ian Meyer. Apologies there, misidentified Carson before I flipped my lineup card over. So Pimley, and then Hamilton, and then Meyer do up this half for the Falcons. Camden Meady still on the bump for Wasilla. He comes set, working primarily out of the stretch this game. As he delivers the pitch, Pimley pops one up to the left side, out of play foul. The count is 0-1. Falcons scored 2 runs in the first, 2 runs in the second. They went down in order in the third inning, so Pimley, who is 1 for 1 today with a double in that second inning, is looking to get the rally started much like he did earlier in the ball game. That inning started with the Pimley double, followed up with a Hamilton single, and later on a Max Price double is how the Falcons scored 2 runs in that frame. A looping breaking ball misses upstairs. The count is a ball and a strike to Carson Pimley. Pimley will be a senior next year at Henley High School. As Meady comes set with the pitch to Pimley. Here's the offering. Pimley swings and misses at that pitch. Might have been a changeup from Meady. Had Pimley out in front. Count is a ball and 2 strikes to the Falcons left fielder. Had his first double of the season in that at-bat back in the second inning, like I said. Pitch to Pimley. Misses upstairs. The count is 2-2. Pimley, then Hamilton due up next for the Falcons. Hamilton's been dealing on the mound, too. Whenever he gets a chance to bat this inning, we'll give you the line score on him through 3 innings. As Pimley awaits the 2-2 pitch from Meady. Here it comes. Fastball. Pimley checks his swing. That pitch does miss outside. Both pitchers feeling squeezed, I think, a little bit on that outside corner to the right-handed hitters, whereas the other home plate umpires we've had today have given that outside corner a little bit. This umpire is calling it right on the black, which is consistent with what he's been doing, but just a little bit of an adjustment with how the umpires have been otherwise today. As the 3-2 is swung on and missed by Pimley, he goes down with a strikeout to start the 4th inning. So here comes Corbin Hamilton, who is 1 for 1 today with a single, an RBI, and a run scored all in the 2nd inning. And like I said, he's been pitching well on the mound so far. 3 innings pitched. He's given up 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts so far for him. And while we're at it, might as well check the line score for Camden Meady, who's an inning and a third into this relief appearance, has yet to give up a hit, a run, or a walk, and he's struck out 2 batters. Well, that time he hits Hamilton, so that's the first base runner that he's allowed. And this will bring up Ian Meyer for the Klamath Falls Falcons. We're going to have a runner come in for Hamilton. I believe it'll be Ryan Glidden again. So Glidden aboard at first for Meyer, who was 0 for 1 in the ball game. He grounded out back in the second inning. Meyer had a 2 RBI single in the opener today for the Falcons against Palmer. And that sent Palmer to 1-2 in round robin play. Again, they're not totally eliminated from the championship event yet. But the Falcons continue to roll and maintain a lead. Have to see how things happen. Oh, we got timeout. And a late timeout called by the home base umpire. Ian Meyer called timeout as the pitcher was delivering. Meady had his leg kick up, so certainly a late timeout call awarded to Meyer. But here's the next pitch. That one nearly came in and got Meyer. The count now is 1-0. Especially with how that mound is up there. You don't like to have pitchers false start like that too much. But the home plate umpires have been pretty gracious with granting time to the batters all tournament long, and that's certainly no exception. Pitch to Meyer is hit foul. The count is a ball and a strike. Like I said, the mound in the home plate area not in tip-top shape. They've done the best they can with the rain that we've had. They brought in a lot of dirt, and the field is certainly playable, but again, just not in the best of shape. And so we talk about guys sliding around home plate. A couple of missteps out there on the mound. Again, just some of the things you think about given the weather and the circumstances. The 1-1 pitch missed below the knees. Count is 2-1. After Meyer, it's Carson Sims in the order for the Falcons. Top of the fourth inning, and Klamath Falls leads 4-0. Here's the pitch. Popped up right side. Playable in foul territory for the first baseman. And the catch is made by Hudson in foul territory for the second out in the fourth inning. Bring up Carson Sims, who's 0 for 1 at the plate today, but made a very impressive catch in foul territory. Or not, pardon me, not in foul territory, running towards foul territory, though, in the last half inning. Laid completely out for it, stole a sure thing base hit to end the inning, and now he's looking to do it with the stick. 2 outs in the inning. Sims will be followed in the order by Max Price, due up next if we get there. Pitch on the way to Sims. Checks it, but it's called a strike. Outside fastball is in the zone. Just below the belt to Sims, and again gracing that outside corner. Nice job there by Meady to get ahead to Sims on the borderline fastball outside. Carson settles back in for the 0-1. And the pitch to Meady is going to come in and hit Sims. Second hit batsman of the game will advance Glidden to second. And will bring up Max Price. Price 2 for 2 today with a single, a double, a run scored, and an RBI. He's had a very solid game here in the nightcap in Wasilla and trying to add more to his team's 4-run advantage against the host Road Warriors. Meady back on the rubber, lead off a second for Hamilton. Or pardon me, for Glidden out there. Pretty aggressive lead for Glidden. Takes another half step as the pitcher checks on him. A very aggressive secondary lead as that pitch misses high and away to Max Price. And the count is 1-0. Connor Shively is due up next for the Falcons. Max Price just carrying on what he did in Game 1 here into Game 2. Sprayed the ball all over the field in the Falcons' first game here in Wasilla and is already 2 for 2 in this game. That one nearly came in and hit him, and the count is 2-0. Pimley started this inning by striking out. Hamilton was hit by a pitch, and while Glidden is out there as the courtesy runner, Meyer popped out, and Sims was hit by a pitch. That's the only way the guys have gotten on base for the Falcons in this half inning was being plunked. Pitch to Price. That's going to change. A fly ball to left field, and a diving effort gets by Wheeler, and that'll roll to the wall. That's going to score Glidden. They are going to slam the brakes on Sims at third. Is a nice job by the center fielder Russell to get over there and back things up. A heck of an effort by Wheeler, but just missed out on a run-saving catch. Instead, the Falcons lead 5-0, and an RBI double from Max Price scores Glidden and advances Sims to third. 2 men in scoring position now for Connor Shively. Still looking for his first hit of the day. That's including the that's including the game from earlier where he only reached base a single time on a walk in the 6th. Today he's reached base on a walk. It was in the first inning. He also flew out in the second. But a good opportunity to add a couple more here for Shively as the first pitch is going to miss high and away to 1-0. Shively with 7 RBIs in the Falcons' final game before coming to Alaska. That was in Roseburg against Dr. Randall's Crowns. Matches Colin Tacchini for the single-game high in RBI this season for the Falcons, like I said, at 7. Here's the pitch to Shively. It's going to miss outside. It's because he found himself in a lot of situations like this. I mean, where guys were in scoring position and you don't have to do too much to score them. Here it's just going to take a base hit to score potentially 2 runs. Max Price has got some good speed out there in scoring position. Pitch on the way to Shively as Meady kicks and delivers. Shively rips that one the opposite way, foul. The count is 2-1. Right back into the snack shack here at Wasilla. They've been selling nachos and hot dogs and chili dogs. Had myself some nachos with chili on them earlier. Were pretty good. They're run by Ramon Guzman, who's out there at second. His dad was running the shack a little while ago today. I got to say, everyone here in Wasilla has been very gracious to me and accommodating to me getting ready for these broadcasts. Hope that we're invited back for another time next year. It's been a lot of fun here in Wasilla so far. A lot of baseball, but good time. Shively sends a line drive into center field. It'll get down. It's going to score Sims. They're waving in Price, and he scores. And a 2 RBI single for Connor Shively. The Falcons lead 7-0. It's a way to get on the board there for Shively. And Jacoby Tacchini will bat now with the runner on first and 2 away. Tacchini still looking for his first base hit in this game, although he did have a 2 RBI single in the game against Palmer earlier today. Tacchini, though, here has walked and struck out in his only 2 plate appearances. Delivery to Tacchini is going to miss in the dirt. Curveball from Meady. The count is 1-0. After Tacchini, it's Colin Tacchini in the order for the Falcons, who lead 7-0 in the top of the 4th inning. Pitch is taken, well, that one bounced to the plate but was called a strike. That one would have taken up some dirt with it if it was dry. Its count is 1-1. Tacchini's saying, I better get that call for my guy when we get back out there. Count is even to Jacoby. Here's the pitch from Meady after coming set. The delivery is an outside fastball popped up to the right side in foul territory. And the catch is made to end the inning. But the Falcons do score 3 runs in the frame, 2 off the RBI single from Connor Shively, and Max Price added an RBI for himself earlier in the inning as well. The Falcons lead 7-0 as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning, the final game of day number 2 at the Todd Ryan Memorial Tournament on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Score 7-0, and the Klamath Falls Falcons lead the Wasilla Road Warriors in the bottom of the fourth inning. Due up this half for Wasilla is Ramon Guzman, Chase Sivlich, and Jaron Vini. That's 2-3-4 against Corbin Hamilton in the fourth inning of his start. He has thrown well through the first three innings. We checked on the line score for him last inning, hoping to continue that output here. Pitch is in the zone, and that'll be a strike below the knees. And, well, like I said last inning, Takini's hoping for that low strike for his guy, and, well, he gets it in the first pitch here in the fourth inning. I guess that shows a bit of consistency behind the plate. That time Hamilton goes circle change inside and gets the strike called against Guzman. 0-2, as Guzman is 0-for-1 on the day with a strikeout. Hamilton already ready to throw again. Outside slider misses just outside. A good take there by Guzman. And the count is a ball and 2 strikes. Wasilla dugout trying to come alive a little bit, provide a spark for their team, as the Falcons dugout has had a spark all day long. Pitch from Hamilton, fastball down the middle, strike 3, and that will send Guzman packing here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Brings up Chase Sivlich, who is without an official at-bat in this contest. He walked in the first inning. Sivlich was 1-for-4 in the opener today for Wasilla when they beat Madisonville 6-1. That was the second game of the day. Just to give you an idea, that's when the rain started. It was all the way back around 3 o'clock. Now, it's been about 50 or so minutes since we haven't had rain, but it was coming down for a good long while here in Wasilla, and we only had to delay for about an hour. The guys did a pretty good job of getting the field ready. Even if it isn't in tip-top shape, it is playable. And the guys for Wasilla, not just their coaches, by the way, the whole team worked on getting this place ready to go for the tournament. Sivlich ahead in the count, 2-1 against Hamilton. Here's the pitch. Is grounded right back off Hamilton. Ricochets off his leg. It's going to bounce over to Safford, who recovers in time to get the out. Now we got to check on Hamilton, who looks to be okay. It bounced off the back of his calf. And we're going to, Jacoby Takini's going to come on out, make sure he's all right. Hamilton's a gamer, though. He's going to be okay after that one. A nice job by Safford, too, at third to react after that ball ricocheted off of Hamilton. PJ, a heads-up play to still grab that out. Now there's 2 away in the inning. In steps Jaron Vini, who's 0-for-1 in the contest. Sends a fly ball to left field. That's going to get down in the left center field gap, and it's going to roll near to the wall. It's going to be extra bases with 2 outs in the inning for Jaron Vini, picking up a double there. Vini wrapping his third double of the summer. Gets into scoring position with 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth, a game in which the Klamath Falls Falcons lead 7-0. Hamilton went fastball on the first pitch to Vini, and I think it just caught a bit too much of the plate. He took advantage and shot that ball, like I said, into the left center field gap for the 2-out double. Waylon Halverson batting now. He's 0-for-1 in this contest. He struck out in the second inning. Hamilton comes set, and the pitch. That one's hit in the air, shallow right center field. It's actually going to be the second baseman, Takini, who goes out a few feet past the cut of the grass to put that one away for the third out. So the Road Warriors get a double in the inning, but unable to do anything once they get that man into scoring position. As we go to the top of the fifth inning, it is the Falcons who lead the Road Warriors 7-0 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
To reclaim your health and your autonomy. At Heartfelt OBGYN, they focus on you. Their evidence-based approach to care means fewer office visits and a targeted treatment plan to directly address your specific needs. They believe in solutions for their patients, not the industry's profit margin. The providers at Heartfelt OBGYN are committed to serving the community and giving back to the basin. Find them at heartfeltobgyn.com. Heartfelt, because you deserve to be in control of your body and your informed choices.
At Eisler Group, they are confident that their tax and accounting professionals are experienced and trained like no one else. From individual, corporate, partnership, estate, trust, Eisler Group stands ready to help you with all of your financial, tax, and accounting needs. They have been in Klamath Falls for nearly 60 years, raising their families here and being part of the community. The Eisler Group can be found at EislerKF.com. That's ISLERKF.com. EislerKF.com.
All right, so a couple of changes for Wasilla here in the top of the fifth inning, a game in which the Klamath Falls Falcons lead 7-0. And changes for Wasilla include a new man on the mound, Jaron Vini. We'll take a look at him in just a second. As Vini comes in from short, the former second baseman Guzman will go over and cover for him. And a new man, I believe it is Aiden Perez, comes into the game to replace Meady and play second base. And so there are your changes for Wasilla. And it'll be Colin Tacchini, PJ Safford, and Carson Pimley do up this half for the Klamath Falls Falcons, again building out a 7-0 lead in the top of the fifth inning. Let's check in on the numbers for Jaron Vini before he starts this outing. It'll be his third outing of the season, all in relief. He's pitched 5 previous innings. He's picked up a save, 1 hit, 1 run it's earned, and an ERA of 1.4. Vini looking to keep the Falcons at bay. Falcons 3 runs away from a potential mercy rule here, but right now Vini trying to stop that from happening. He'll start with ball 1 to Colin Tacchini. The Falcons won via mercy rule in the opener of this tournament, for them at least. I say the opener. It was actually the 4th game overall of the tournament, the 3rd of today, but it was the first for them, and they won it 12-1. It was the most runs scored in a single game so far this tournament, was that 12-run output, surpassing Madisonville, who scored 10 runs in a game earlier today, as the 1-0 finds the zone to make the count. 1-1 to Colin, who's 0 for 2 today. Struck out in the first and flew out in the third. Jaron Vini comes set, the right-hander for Wasilla. Delivers the pitch that's hit in the air right side. That is deep to right center field. The center fielder makes the catch on the run. Cade Russell tracks that one down and puts it away for the first out in the 5th inning. That'll be P.J. Safford, who made a pretty good play on defense in that last half inning for the Falcons. It was a line drive right back to the pitcher, ricocheted off of Hamilton, and Safford was able to recover and make a nice throw onto first in time for the out. At the plate today, Safford is 0 for 2. He's grounded out and flown out so far. Hoping to change his fortunes a bit here with 1 away in the 5th inning. Here's the pitch on the way from Vini. Curveball misses off the plate outside. The count is 1-0 to Safford. Again, on deck next is Carson Pimley for the Falcons. Safford awaits the 1-0. Here it comes. A fastball that's hit the opposite way into right field. Got the barrel out in front of the inside fastball. And Safford with his first single of the ball game. And it comes with 1 out in the 5th inning. Good piece of hitting there for P.J. Safford. This will bring up Carson Pimley, who's 1 for 2 today. Pimley doubled in the 2nd. It would come in to score in that inning. Otherwise, he struck out in the 4th. Struck out to start the 4th inning. And the Falcons still were able to rally for 3 runs in that frame. Vini ready to deliver to Pimley. And the pitch is going to miss wide. Count is 1-0 to Pimley, with Safford aboard at first and Corbin Hamilton waiting on deck. Carson Pimley in left field today is the move over to first. Safford is back safely. Pimley's making the most of his opportunities here in Alaska. Has played in all but 3 games for the Falcons this year. Has gotten a lot of time in as a reserve player, but making the start here today. As a throw over to first, they tried to backdoor Safford again, didn't work out for him. And it'll be Carson Pimley ready to settle back in for this at-bat. The count is 2-0. Pimley's gotten ahead. Vini going to try to challenge him here on the 2-0 pitch. Here it comes. It's going to miss outside. A good location, but again, that outside pitch hasn't been there for anybody today. Even if the zone has been different, something that these guys haven't been used to today with the outside pitch not being called. North and south has been a little bit widened by this home plate umpire. He's been consistent, so now the onus is on the batters to try and adjust. Here's the pitch. That one misses low and away, and a walk to Pimley. We'll put 2 men on for Corbin Hamilton. Safford advances to second on that walk. So here's Corbin Hamilton, who has reached base twice today and scored each time. Also had an RBI on his single in the second inning. Thrown well on the mound and has also, like I said, left his impact on the game on the offensive side. I guess I want to correct myself. He didn't score those runs. It was Ryan Glidden who came in and courtesy ran for him who scored those runs. But all started with Hamilton's ability to get on base. First pitch to Hamilton is going to miss wide. Kicks off the glove of Berta, and both runners will advance. Safford to third, Pimley to second. And the count will be 1-0 to Corbin Hamilton. Hamilton this summer for the Klamath Falls Falcons. Take a look at his complete stats. Is batting .295. 11 of his 13 hits have been singles. He's got a couple doubles. He's scored 9 runs, has knocked in 8 this year. But with 2 men in scoring position and 1 out, a chance to add some more for Corbin Hamilton. Looking to come up in a big spot here with Ian Meyer waiting on deck. Here's the pitch. It's going to be taken outside. The count is 2-0. Good take there by Corbin. And we are going to have timeout called by Coach Ken Ott. And let's see if they decide to make a change here in Wasilla. Gives us a moment to recognize some vital sponsors to our coverage here in Alaska. Heartfelt OBGYN in Klamath Falls and the Eisler Group in Klamath Falls have both stepped up, and, well, they both did it at the 11th hour. I mean, it was curious if we were even going to be able to make this trip to Alaska and bring the games to you live on mybasin.com, but those 2 groups of people with the Eisler Group and Heartfelt OBGYN said, you know what, we got to get you guys to Alaska. I want to be a part of this, and have come aboard for this week and hopefully in the foreseeable future as well. But they've come aboard for the rest of the Falcons season. And so very grateful to the folks there and the decision makers and supporting their community, supporting these kids, supporting the broadcast. And because they support all of that, you should support them. The Eisler Group and Heartfelt OBGYN, vital sponsors to the Falcons coverage here in the last frontier, the 49th state of Alaska. It's definitely a different feel up here. Glad to be able to make this trip. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to see the first moose I ever saw in my life. I was driving out here to Wasilla yesterday night. Didn't see any on the drive over here today, but I was driving over here yesterday, and there was 2 moose on the side of the road. I think they were young ones. They didn't look very big, at least not to me. That's why I think they were younger. Or maybe I just, in my head, I imagine a moose being way bigger than it actually is, which seems unreasonable, but it was a pretty cool experience. Here's the 2-0 pitch on the way to Corbin Hamilton. Pitch misses low, and the count is 3-0 to Hamilton. Again, Safford is aboard at third. Pimley is aboard at second. First base is open, and on deck is Ian Meyer. Pitch on the way from Vini. That one is in the zone. Again, a low strike called against Hamilton. That pitch has been there today. Got to know it. It's a good pitch to take in a 3-0 count for Hamilton. Certainly shouldn't feel discouraged about that, but that low strike has been there all day long. 3-1. The count to Korb, the bat resting on his back shoulder. Here's the pitch from Vini. Hamilton lifts that one foul the opposite way, and the count runs full. So down 3-0 to back in a full count for Jaron Vini against Corbin Hamilton. And it started again with that low strike called. Might be out of your typical zone. Probably not really a strike on a typical day, but like I said, if the umpire's been calling it, it's up to the hitters to adjust, and especially here in a 2-strike count, Hamilton's going to have to be conscious about that pitch below the knees. Here's the offering to Vini. A curveball misses upstairs, and Hamilton will earn the walk. Safford at third, Pimley at second. They're going to bring Ryan Glidden in to run at first. Bases loaded for Ian Meyer. 0 for 2 in this contest. Still looking for his first hit on the season. Meyer batting .367 with 9 RBI on the year. The first baseman for the Falcons readies for the pitch from Vini. Here it is. It is taken for a strike off the glove of Berta, the catcher, but Safford's going to stay put at third. And the count, I believe that was called a strike on the outside corner to Meyer, the count 0-1. Well, Safford not breaking for the plate. They're probably the best option there was to stay put. Tough to make that second out at home if Berta was able to recover, and the ball didn't get that far away from him anyway. Without a good read on the ball, Safford decides just to stay put over there. As the 0-1 pitch is on the way to Ian Meyer. Vini set. And here it comes. Curveball misses high above Meyer's helmet. The count is even now at a ball and a strike. After Meyer, it's Carson Sims in the order for the Klamath Falls Falcons. Small lead off of third for Safford. Not a huge lead off of first either for Hamilton, but an aggressive lead off of second for Pimley. He's going to try to score on a base hit. As Vini comes set. Pardon me, that's Glidden over there at first, and a ground ball to the right side of the infield by the first baseman into right field. Like I said, they're waving Pimley in on a base hit. The throw-in is not in time. Pimley slides in safely. Ryan Glidden advances to third, and a 2 RBI single for Ian Meyer in the 5th inning. And the man does it again. It was a 2 RBI single in the third in the last game. Meyer coming up again in a big spot, scoring Safford, scoring Pimley. And like I said, Glidden to third. It'll put runners at the corners now in a 9-0 ball game. 1 out. Max Price is due up next for the Falcons after Carson Sims. As Sims has flown out and has been hit by a pitch so far in this game. Came around to score when he was hit. Pitch on the way to Sims. Is swung on and missed. Got jammed on the inside heat. Falls behind in the count 0-1. 1 out in the inning came at the start of the inning when Colin Tacchini flew out to right field. After that, Safford singled. Pimley and Hamilton both walked, and most recently Ian Meyer with that 2 RBI single to put the Falcons in front 9-0. Set on the mound is Vini, and the pitch is taken high for a ball against Sims. The count is even now at a ball and a strike. Sims is joining the club with Connor Shively and P.J. Safford to have reached base in at least the last 13 games. Now Safford and Shively have done it in the last 15, but Sims now up to 13. Sends one deep to left field. The ball is caught by the left fielder Wheeler, but tagging to score from third is Ryan Glidden, and he does. And there's no way he left early, right? Are they going to say he was out? There you go, safe at third. Glidden tagged up successfully in Klamath Falls, scoring their 10th run of the ball game. Coach Ken Ott says that Glidden left early. I got to be honest, I was watching it. I didn't see it, but Coach Ottinger wants to argue about it. The base umpire deferred to the home plate umpire, said he didn't see it. An RBI on the sacrifice fly for Carson Sims makes it 10-0 Falcons. A runner remains at first. That's Ian Meyer, and Max Price steps in. As Klamath Falls now eligible for a mercy rule victory in the bottom half of the next inning, but looking for some insurance, still with that runner aboard at first. Here's the pitch. Curveball misses high. They try to backdoor the runner at first, but back safely is Ian Meyer. Price 3 for 3 today with 2 doubles and 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. He's had a fantastic day against the Wasilla Road Warriors, and that just adds on to where he started against Palmer when he was 3 for 3 with an RBI and 3 runs scored in that game. That one is low to Price, called a strike, 1-1. After Max Price, it's Connor Shively in the order for the Falcons. Move over to first. And again, back safely is Meyer. Count 1-1 to Price. His last double came in the 4th inning. Another move over to first. But again, back safely is Meyer. Set again is Vini, and the pitch. Price pops it up on the right side in foul territory. That bounces off the Falcons' dugout. The count a ball and 2 strikes to Price. Max starts the game in center field. He can also play the infield positions, but they haven't needed him to yet today. I imagine we'll see him on the mound either tomorrow or in one of the first couple of days in Anchorage. Tomorrow the Falcons play Madisonville, and potential for a championship game at the nightcap here in Wasilla. As that pitch is in the zone, and that will ring up Max Price looking on the breaking ball and end the inning. But the Falcons get that ever-important 10th run across the board, and they lead 10-0 as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
At MyBasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
the pace and reach of social media,
the information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
MyBasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
Josh Eldridge back with you on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com. Corbin Hamilton still back out there for the bottom of the 5th inning as his team leads 10-0 against the Wasilla Road Warriors. They're looking to close out the Road Warriors in this half. It'll be Jacob Johnson, Bridger Berta, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the new addition to the ball game, Aiden Perez, will bat this half inning as well. Not new anymore. He's been playing on defense for the last couple of innings, but he'll get his first at-bat, I believe, due up third this inning. I'll have to double-check on that with the substitutions and whatnot, but I believe that's how it is. The first pitch coming to Johnson is taking the outside two-seam fastball to the left-handed hitter, is taken for a ball. 1-0. Jacob Johnson this season for Wasilla, batting .250. He is 4 for his first 16 on the season. So that pitch is in the zone. Two-seam fastball that time starts inside against Johnson and breaks back out into the zone. The count is even now at a ball and a strike. Jacob Johnson is class of 2027 here in Wasilla. He'll swing through that pitch. The count is 1-2. Three guys on Wasilla, class of 27, which means they'll be juniors next season. Here's the pitch. Check swing. He holds up in time. The count is 2-2. Did he go? Oh, they're going to say yes, he did go. Oh, boy, that is a big strikeout. Oh, man. Coach Todd might have a legitimate gripe about that call. That is a strikeout to start the inning. And we'll bring up Bridger Berta. Hamilton getting away with one there in this broadcaster's opinion. That pitch misses outside, 1-0. Try my best to stay impartial and maybe in favor of the Falcons, but I certainly think they got away with that one. As that pitch in the zone, the count is, even now at a ball and a strike with one out in the fifth inning. Berta 0 for 1 today, grounded into a double play in the second. Outside fastball misses from Hamilton. The count now 2-1. Went with the slider outside, trying to get Berta to chase, but unable to do so. And now ready to go with the 2-1. Upstairs fastball. That time Berta does chase. The count is even now, 2-2. Two-seam fastball from Hamilton. You can hear the pop of the glove. At least I hope you can on the broadcast. Here's the 2-2 from Hamilton. Slider popped up, shallow left center field. It's Shively who heads out into the gap, and he runs a long way backpedaling to make the catch for the second out. Just like that, the Wasilla Road Warriors down to their final out of this game. The Falcons trying to be the only team to improve to 2-0 in the Todd Ryan Memorial Tournament. Standing in between them and that goal is Aiden Perez. The pitch to Perez is going to miss upstairs, and the count is 1-0. After Perez, it's Cade Russell. Perez is a high school graduate, class of 25, as he swings through the pitch from Hamilton. The count is even now at a ball and a strike. Hamilton's gone high with that two-seamer, has gotten the Road Warriors to chase this inning. Still has that velocity here in the fifth. The pitch from Hamilton, another upstairs fastball. That time, I think Perez got a piece of it as it fouled back into the glove of Takini, but again, an upstairs fastball chased. And now the Road Warriors down to their final strike. Here's the pitch from Hamilton. Slider is going to miss off the plate. The count 2-2. It's a good pitch by Corbin. Just missed off the plate. Now he's going to try again. The 2-2. Fastball high. The count runs full. 3-2. Cade Russell hoping for a chance this half inning if Perez can find a way on. Hamilton trying to stop him here in a full count. The ball game on the line. The pitch is looked at for strike three. Perez goes down looking, and that will be the ball game. The Klamath Falls Falcons victorious 10-0 against the Wasilla Road Warriors, improving to 2-0 in the tournament. We'll be back to recap it all for you here in just a moment, so stick around for more from the Todd Ryan Memorial Tournament on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
Pacific Power works day in and day out to power our communities because we know our neighbors rely on us. We're trimming and clearing branches around poles and lines, protecting our system, and giving you real-time updates when storms roll in. You can count on us in all seasons. 24/7, we're here for you. Powering your greatness.
The cars we drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person, I love to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon, soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
As a parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
Final in the game for the Klamath Falls Falcons, 10 runs on 8 hits, no errors, and they are victorious against the Wasilla Road Warriors, who scored no runs on 2 hits, and they also committed no errors. Corbin Hamilton going for the complete game victory at 57 pitches, going 5 complete innings, giving up 2 hits and striking out 6, and a great victory for him. The loser today would be Jacob Johnson, who pitched the first 2 innings for Wasilla. He gave up 4 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. He walked 2 and struck out 1. Again, some more unofficial totals for the Klamath Falls Falcons today. Max Price finishing 3 for 4 with 2 RBI and 2 doubles in the contest. Connor Shively was 1 for 2 with a couple of RBI as well. Ian Meyer was 1 for 3 with 2 RBI in the contest. Again, all of these totals unofficial today. You'll want to check out our game recap on mybasin.com, along with our box scores that are officially posted on mybasin.com. Hoping to get that story up sometime tonight, although I imagine most of you Falcons fans, with it being 10:30 there, and, well, it's about an hour drive back to Anchorage, and I'll be able to start writing. I'll probably read it tomorrow morning, but be sure you keep your eye on mybasin.com as we recap the Falcons' first day in Wasilla, Alaska. They are the only team to come away with a 2-0 record through their first 2 games. You also have Madisonville, who is 1-1, and both Wasilla and Palmer are 1-2 in the Todd Ryan Memorial Tournament, which will continue tomorrow. And the Falcons will play once. They're hoping to play twice, as they have got Madisonville, Kentucky at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. That would be 2 o'clock in the Klamath Basin, and then they play the title game against, whoever would play the title game. The title game will be played here at Wasilla at 4 o'clock local time, 5 o'clock back in the Basin. Thank you so much for joining me today, whether it was for just this game, just the Falcons games, or all day long here from Bumpus Fields in Wasilla, Alaska. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a long day. Started bright and early at 9:30, getting to the ballpark, and 12 hours later, we are finally about to head off the air. So again, from the very bottom of my heart, thank you for making it worth it, and thank you for joining me all day long here from Wasilla, Alaska. The Klamath Falls Falcons with a pair of victories today, and their most recent 10-0 against the Wasilla Road Warriors. Thanks to everybody who made today's broadcast possible, all the head coaches I worked with today, specifically the people here in Wasilla. Coach Ken Ottinger, his staff have been absolutely brilliant with me today and yesterday. The team has been fantastic, helping me set up my gear. I'm talking about the Road Warriors team. They've been great, helping me set up my gear every single day, and I'm sure they will tomorrow. Really has been a great event so far here in Wasilla. Even despite the rain, they made the field playable and were able to finish out the day, and hoping out to finish out the tournament tomorrow. Also, the coach for the Falcons, Sean Teeters, is always great to work with, and the coaches for the other teams as well, for Palmer and for Madisonville. I'm sure you guys have been checking out the games. Thank everybody for being a part of what we've got going on here at mybasin.com. Our naming sponsors here for our trip to Alaska, Heartfelt OBGYN, and of course Eisler Group in the Klamath Basin. They have come on to support our trip to Alaska, and because they support us and the youth and the kids in the Klamath Falls Falcons and baseball in the Basin, you should support them as well. Big thanks to Heartfelt OBGYN and the Eisler Group back in Klamath Falls. I'll be back tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock in the Basin, 1 o'clock here in Alaska, as the Falcons will take on Madisonville and hope to advance to the championship game against whoever it might be, Wasilla, Palmer, or Madisonville. If the Falcons are able to pick up a win, I'll have to find out how the seeding will go, whether it's by run differential or what the case is here in Wasilla. But until then, until I'm back with you tomorrow, I hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday night. My name is Josh Eldridge saying so long and good night from Bumpus Fields in Wasilla, Alaska.